Ukraine's president says the country's delegation for peace negotiations in the Turkish city of Istanbul is at the highest level. Volodymyr Zelensky earlier held talks in Ankara with his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Рівень русських поки що мені офіційно невідомий, але із того, що ми бачимо, це більше схоже на бутафорський рівень. Ми повинні розуміти, що за рівень російської делегації, який у них мандат, чи спроможні вони хоч щось самі приймати. Тому що нам всім відомо, хто в Росії приймає рішення.
The long-awaited peace talks between Russia and Ukraine are expected to get underway today, but the absence of Russian President Vladimir Putin has lowered expectations of a major breakthrough. And for more, Ross Cullen joins us live now from Istanbul. Ross, how has Russia reacted to President Zelensky's arrival statements in Ankara, and how could all of this affect peace talks in Istanbul?
Yeah, you're right, Shah. There's been a bit of a war of words developing just before the start of that long-awaited peace talks. The first time that both sides are going to be negotiating face-to-face since 2022. Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, calling the Ukrainian president pathetic, and Maria Zakharova, the Russian foreign ministry spokeswoman, saying that every time Kyiv disrupts negotiations, Ukraine gets smaller. And we heard the Ukrainian president also saying that the delegation that Russia has sent to Istanbul is purely decorative. We will be waiting to see if those talks get underway. They are scheduled to be held at the Dolmabahce Palace in downtown Istanbul. You might be able to just make it out over my shoulder here in Turkey's largest city. We know that Volodymyr Zelensky and Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the Turkish president, have been holding talks in the capital, Ankara. We understand the Turkish president throwing his weight behind the idea of an immediate ceasefire. That is something that Ukraine would like. That is something that the US supports. That is something that the European allies also support. So we are waiting to see if there can be any moves towards a ceasefire made by the Russian delegation. They have said that they are serious about talking, but they have also said that there are many technical issues that need to be clarified first, notably the roots of the conflict. So those talks are set to get underway, and they will be a major point if they can be held. We understand there might not be the same representation on the Russian side as the Ukrainian side, but we are waiting for that delegation to get underway. We also understand, Shah, that a US delegation has arrived in Istanbul. They are set to take part in the talks tomorrow, notably at the Secretary of State level with Marco Rubio there alongside Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy. And it hasn't been ruled out yet that tomorrow, potentially, President Trump could also be here in Istanbul to mediate.
Meanwhile, Ross, we know that NATO foreign ministers, they're also meeting in Turkey. Talk us through what members have been discussing in relation to the war.
Well, just in the last few minutes, Shah, the Turkish foreign minister, the host of the NATO foreign ministers' meetings in Antalya on the southern Mediterranean coast, Hakan Fidan, he's been saying that Turkey will continue to support peace talks. It's been playing a brokering role between Russia and Ukraine now for a lot of the time during this conflict, notably at the start in 2022, holding talks in Antalya, holding talks here in Istanbul between both sides before they broke down without an agreement. We also heard from the NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte. He's been speaking as well this afternoon. He has said that the NATO members are going to commit to boost defence spending above 2%. That is no longer sufficient a target for NATO members, and boosting defence spending can be a way of boosting each other's economies. He reiterated the full support from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization for President Trump's aim to bring the war in Ukraine to a swift conclusion with a just and lasting peace. And he did also say that clearly Turkey has been playing an important role, saying that what must happen must be a reliable and durable ceasefire.
All right, Ross, I suppose we'll be speaking with you again later on. Thank you so much for those updates. Ross Cullen there reporting live in Istanbul.